Streets of Fire is a 1984 film written and directed by Walter Hill and starring Diane Lane, Willem Dafoe, and Michael Parr, and tells the story of a mercenary who is hired to rescue his ex-girlfriend, a singer who has been kidnapped by a motorcycle gang. Shout Factory presents this movie with a new 2K scan of the Interpositive. Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media entertainment. I am Ken, and today I am going to be doing probably my final 1984 review. As you know, it is 1984 month on this channel. I've been watching a bunch of 1984 films, reviewing them, talking about them with you guys. I am going to conclude with a tier list and ranking video that should be out on Thursday, so the final day of 1984 month, so definitely look out for that. But today, guys, I'm going to be talking about Streets of Fire. So this is a movie from 1984 that a lot of you guys recommended to me on one of my live streams. I think the live stream where I was calculating how much it would cost to purchase every single title on Blu-ray from 1984, which was a super fun stream. Definitely go check that out if you haven't already. But a lot of you guys are recommending this one to me, so I went and purchased this Shout Factory version. And yeah, I thought I would do a review for you guys. I could have reviewed Karate Kid, I could have reviewed Ghostbusters, you know, Gremlins, some of the more well-known titles, but I want to dive into more of these lesser-known 1984 titles and the ones that I'm seeing for the first time, because I just feel like that's more interesting at this point. So this is going to be a super casual video, guys, talking about Streets of Fire. Let me know if you got this Shout Factor release, because we are going to be diving into the special features. We're going to be talking about the picture quality. We're going to be talking about all the stuff that comes with this release, guys. It really is a spectacular release by Shout Factory. But let's go ahead and get into the movie itself. So, like I said in the opening, 1984 film, written and directed by Walter Hill, who, if you don't know who he is, I feel like I've been watching a ton of Walter Hill movies lately. But he did 48 Hours, which I just watched for Buddy Cop Month, and then also Red Heat with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jim Belushi, which I also watched for Buddy Cop Month. And then he did another 48 Hours. He did some other movies like Crossroads, which I do have in the collection, but I haven't watched yet. So he's tackled some other genres, and he also did this movie in 1984, which I didn't even realize he did until like I got into the opening credits of the movie, and I just recognize his name now because I feel like I'm talking about the guy all the time. But really interesting director, really interesting style with all of his film. He does have that like down and dirty, like gritty style to everything he does, and you can definitely notice that in this movie. But this one definitely has some more of like the fantastical elements to it. It is kind of post-apocalyptic. It does take place, I forget what they call it in the beginning, but it's like another time, another place. They don't name the city that they're in. There is no name to it. So it's like a fictional setting, fictional time and place, but it does have that post-apocalyptic feel, which he also did The Warriors, which from what I hear is kind of the same way, but I've never seen that movie before. But I'm really digging him as a director and do want to dive into more of his filmography. I think he has a really, really nice style to him. Just a really, like I said, dark and dingy and just down and dirty, gritty style to like everything that he does. But this one's definitely, I guess, more stylistic than some of his other films. Not really as grounded, kind of leans more into that 80s cheese category, I would say, but it does feel very 80s, like it does have, you know, Diane Lane's a singer. She's kind of like a Joan Jett, kind of like that classic like 80s rocker chick. And yeah, it has a lot of those sequences of her singing on stage. This movie does act, I've heard it called like a musical. I wouldn't call it a full-blown musical. They're not breaking into songs like halfway through the movie, but there are musical numbers in the movie, in particular in the beginning and then closing the film. There's two big like stage, like set piece moments in the movie where Diane Lane's singing, she's rocking out and stuff, and it's some good music. So overall, I would say I was a fan of this movie. I did like it. It's not what I would say is a great movie, but it's a fun movie. It's definitely fun, and it's a nice 80s nostalgic piece of material to kind of dive back into and really transport yourself into that time period. There's some really, you know, fun characters and performances in this film. This movie really feels like a lot of different genres in one. Like you have obviously like the music part of it. It feels very 80s. It's very stylistic, but then it has traits of like an old school Western, because I just got off a Western month. So the kidnapping of Diane Lane, the lone gunman that's coming into town, played by Michael Parr, the ex-boyfriend that has to team up with some other people to go and try and save her. It feels very Western in its tones and themes. And yeah, it's got romance in it. It's got a lot of different stuff. It's just super stylized. It's got some action. It's got explosions. It's got set piece moments. There's some really interesting editing in this film. Like it's almost filmed like a music video in the first, I would say, 15 to 20 minutes, and then in the closing as well. But then throughout, you have some editing choices going on that do feel like very music video inspired, like it was during that. And this was like on the cusp of that MTV era. Like it was right before MTV got super huge in the mid to late 80s. So yeah, it kind of feels like a music video, and I do like the way that they transition. Like they'll just stop like scenes dead in their tracks, and then they'll just like hold the shot, and then they'll just do like some kind of cool edit to transition into the next scene while they're, you know, playing dialogue over it. So it's just some really interesting editing choices in this film that I did notice. So yeah, I love the setting. Like they really nail this kind of post-apocalyptic type setting. That all the costumes and stuff are super cool. Like the outfit that Willem Dafoe is wearing is completely ridiculous, but you buy it because it's Willem Dafoe and he's just such a good actor. And yeah, I love all the costumes really. And yeah, just diving into some of the characters, you do have Tom Cody, who is the main character that comes into town. He's kind of like the stoic badass type character. Not really the best actor. Michael Parr is not really the best actor, but he does play this role very well. Not really required to do a lot of range. He is very one note in this movie, but he is that lone gunman character that doesn't speak very much, kind of the strong, silent type. You know, very handsome, obviously. Comes in, again, he was Diane Lane's ex-boyfriend, so there's, you know, the little romance scuffle between the two of them. You know, they don't like each other, then they do like each other, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, he comes in, you know, saves the day, all that stuff. He's the complete package, the complete badass in this movie. So he does a good job in this role. But besides that, you have some people that really stand out because they did go on to become so famous later on. But Diane Lane, who's definitely one of the more well-known actresses working today, I would say, but this had to have been like maybe her first movie, or at least one of them. She's very young in this. She's only 18 years old, so she looks fantastic, extremely beautiful in this movie. She just pulls off that 80s rocker chick look in the film. And yeah, she's fantastic. She's a great actress and would definitely go on to do bigger and better things later on in her career. But Rick Moranis really stands out in this movie because he does tend to play more of that like nerdy, goofy character in a lot of other films. And then of course the dad character in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So he's kind of an asshole in this movie. Not really like the full-fledged villain, but he is kind of, you know, a jerk in this film because he plays the manager, Billy Fish, the manager to Diane Lane. So he's a jerk in this film. Also, he's her boyfriend, so he has issues with Tom Cody that comes into town and tries to, you know, save her and save the day and stuff. And he's kind of like playing tough guy against him, which is hilarious because it's Rick Moranis trying to play the tough guy. But it's a different role that I've ever seen from Rick Moranis before. Obviously, he's played the villain role in like Spaceballs, but like that's a very different type of performance. So it was interesting seeing him in this type of role for sure. And then you got Amy Madigan, who plays McCoy, which is a sidekick, which they go into in the special features. Like this is supposed to be a male character, and she kind of pushed to play this character because she thought it would be a lot better and a lot cooler and more unique for the film if the sidekick to Tom Cody was a female. And I think they made the right decision. It was a very unique choice for this. And it was interesting seeing them two and their interactions together because you could tell like there was a little bit of that like romantic tension there, but not too much that it was overpowering, and it felt realistic. She did play more of like the badass, like she's a soldier warrior, kind of tomboyish type of character. So you really couldn't see her in that romantic relationship with him, but also you could at the same time. So I really liked their dynamic together, and I thought she played that performance pretty well. And then you got Willem Dafoe, guys, who I have not seen a ton of his earlier stuff. I know he was in a film called Loveless, which was directed by Catherine Bigelow, which they talk about is the reason why he got this part, because he played a biker in that film. So Willem Dafoe, I don't think that he can give a bad performance. Like this is a very like turned up to 11, like villainous, straight villainous role. Like he's a leader of this biker gang. His name is Raven. He's wearing this like almost like butcher type, Texas Chainsaw type like leather overalls, and on anybody else that will look completely ridiculous, but Willem Dafoe, like I said, just pulls it off because he's Willem Dafoe. He's just one of the greatest actors of all time. So it is a very out there, over the top, villainous performance, but Willem Dafoe, he's just chewing the scenery. He's doing all the things right, and just all of his facial expressions are just so on point. And yeah, he pulls off this performance to a T. Absolutely loved Willem Dafoe in this movie. So yeah, overall, guys, this is a fun movie. My only thing that I'm kind of conflicted on is the whole story and premise is set up around the biker gang takes Diane Lane, they take her, they kidnap her, and then you have the characters that come together, the heroes, to go and save her. So the actual saving happens probably about 35 to 40 minutes in this movie, so that kind of threw me off because I thought that was the entire premise of the movie, and then it goes into some other territory, and then it leads into its finale and the whole stage singing sequence at the end. So I thought that they peaked just a little bit too early with that. I would have liked to have seen just a little bit more build up, a little bit more struggle, I guess, with actually being able to rescue Diane Lane in that situation. I just thought, they needed to add a little bit more to that, because I thought that they got her just a little bit too easy. But overall, again, that might not have been the goal and what this movie was all about. I think it was just about the characters and just the aesthetic and the style and stuff like it. It's a fun movie. I enjoyed it. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. I don't want to be too hard on it, So let's get into the picture quality, guys. This Shout Select edition is freaking awesome. It is beautiful. Like, this movie just lends itself aesthetically to an upgrade in picture quality, like the visuals in this film, just the lights and stuff, like on the stage in the beginning when she's performing, just the blues and reds, just how that contrasts against the skin. It just looks fantastic. So this is a 2K transfer by Shout, but it looks great. Like, the facial detail is great, the backgrounds, the scenery, all fantastic. So can't say enough good things about the picture quality here. This was released in 2017, so it is a 5-year-old Shout Factory release, but it looks fantastic. And again, this is from the Shout Select line. I think this is number 16 in the Shout Select line. So picture quality looks absolutely fantastic. I love the artwork on this packaging. It looks great. I'll kind of zoom in right there on the back to show you special features and stuff. You do get 2 discs with this set. One of them is the feature film and one of them is the special features, which we'll go into here in a second, but I'll show those discs off right there. And then you flip it and it's got reversible cover art. You get that classic artwork, which I think is, to be honest, I don't know which one I like better. I don't know if I like this classic artwork better. I don't know if I like the Shout Factory, but I love both the artwork. Some really cool artwork right there as well. So getting into the special features, guys. So this set is $22.99, so it's a little bit more pricey than some of the other Shout Select titles, I would say, some of the Scream Factory titles, but it's totally worth it when you take into account the special features for this, because you get 2 full-length documentaries on this movie. One of them is from 2013 from a previous, I think, Second Sight release, and the other one was filmed brand new for the Shout Select release in 2017. So you get 2 full-length documentaries. I think one of them's 100 minutes, one of them's 86. So that's like almost 3 hours, actually over 3 hours of documentaries just talking about the making of this film. And I watched probably about half of the 2017 documentary. So definitely some really interesting stuff for the directors and the writers talking about the process of getting this movie made. And yeah, it's also got 5 vintage featurettes. It's got music videos. It's got still galleries. It's the whole package. So I'm telling you right now, because when I opened this up and I was like, oh, it must have a DVD and Blu-ray because it's 2 discs. And I was like, oh, all the special features are on 1 disc and just the movie is on 1 disc, which I actually think helped the picture quality a little bit, because this is just a super clean transfer. Again, I can't say enough good things about the transfer, but yeah, so I was like, damn, there must be a lot of special features. When I looked into it, yeah, 3 hours of documentaries on this release. At the end of the day, guys, I enjoyed the movie. This is a great release from Shout Factory, a 1984 hidden gem that I am so glad that I jumped into. And I will be having the link to purchase this. Like I said, it's $22.99, so it's a little bit more on the pricey side, but it is totally worth it. It is a really fun movie, and it's a great release from Shout Factory, so totally recommend this one. So with that, guys, that is my last review, official review for 1984 month. I will be doing a tier list ranking, just talking about every single 1984 film, not only the ones that I've seen this month, but the ones that I've seen, period. So we got about 40 films that we're going to be diving into, tier ranking and all that stuff. So definitely would appreciate it if you check that out. But if you're watching this one, definitely give me a subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Also, be sure to like this video and comment down below your thoughts on Streets of Fire, and turn on those bell notifications. Follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are in the description. and we'll see you next time.